This is Banjo. He's a good boy. I just wanted to show you a little bit here of how I do things, and just gives you a heads up. None of my stuff is new, so it's not going to look as fancy as some people's videos are. But anyway, this type of grooming table I like. If you guys are interested in grooming your own dogs and want to get a grooming table, this is the kind I like. I mean, it's adjustable. You can see I've been working. It's adjustable. The legs will go up and down depending on the height of you and your dog. But this is what I really like, is this arm that goes all the way across the top. And you see how I have him fastened in. And that keeps him, that's just like having extra sets of hands. Now, a lot of groomers just use that front tie there. But I like using the back tie too, because if they take a step, they move their back end off of that table, and their back end falls off, they're going to be hung by the front. And I don't want to chance that. So I put it on the back too, to keep them lined up on the table so that they don't step off with their back feet and hang themselves. So what we're going to do today, number one, I'm going to show you, we just got done doing a town and country haircut on Banjo, and all my dogs, none of them seem to mind getting groomed at all. But anyway, the town and the country is this type of cut where it's got the extra fur along the shoulders and the hips, and a lot of people don't understand what those haircuts are for, and they think poodles are just foo-foo dogs. So the standard poodles were waterfowl dogs. And so when they were hunting, when they were being used for hunting, they would want to take some of the fur off in order to make it so they weren't so heavy when they came out of the water. But they wanted to keep some fur over top of the joints to help keep them warm. So that's why they have some of the different haircuts. But today, I'm going to show you how to do ears. Now, some dogs, the poodles, some dogs don't grow a lot of hair inside their ears, so I recommend, if they don't have problems, just to leave them alone. Poodles generally do grow hair inside of their ears. Doodles, it depends on the, you can hear the puppies back there. Their mother must not be laying down with them and letting them nurse. But anyway, just depends on the doodle to whether they grow a lot of hair or not. Some do and some don't. If they don't grow a lot of hair, I would just recommend leaving the ear alone. If they're not having any problems, just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But a lot of them can get a lot of hair in their ears, and it can mat down inside of their ears and cause infections. So we're going to show you a little bit of how we do things, how I clean a dog's ears out. Now, his aren't too bad. He doesn't have a ton of hair in there right now, but he does have some, and I want to get that out because he is prone to having a lot of hair in his ears. And by keeping them cleaned out and then cleaning the dirt out too, it keeps their ears nice and healthy. So one thing that I do to start with is I'll take the clippers and I'll shave this area down. I do that in the golden retrievers too. This area right here, I shave down very carefully with a number 10 blade to keep that real short. And what that does is it allows the air to get in the, allows airflow into the ear of these flop-eared dogs, because flop-eared dogs are prone to having ear infections at times. So by shaving that little section down right there, it helps let that air in there. So then after I do that, I go inside and I have an ear powder. And I don't even remember where I got this stuff, but you can get it various places, various brands. But it's a professional ear powder, and I'll put some of that in his ear, and it's chalky, and it makes pulling the hair out very easy. And I just pull it. Now, some people use tools to do this with. I don't, because I'm afraid I'm going to catch the dog's skin inside of his ear. So I just use my fingers, and I'll show you how I do that. But I put a little bit of this in. It makes the hair chalky, and you pull a couple hairs out at a time, and it's not painful for them. if you pull too big of a chunk out at a time, it can be painful for them. So I just pull a few hairs out at a time, and they don't even hardly feel it. But this stuff is a big help because it makes that hair come out a lot easier. All right, here we're back. I spent a lot of time down here. I'll get my cord unhooked. Anyway, here's the clippers that I like the best. I've had these for years, and they've held up better than anything else that I've ever had. Also, this is a number 10 blade, and the kind of that blade that I like best has the ceramic blade on it. See the dog hair on it, but it's got that white. That's a ceramic blade. Those seem to be the best. They work the smoothest for me. So what do I show you here? How I trim underneath the ear flap. If I can get you in the picture. I'm trying to do this by myself. So I just very carefully, so I don't catch any of the skin, I just sort of swoop down right there. I don't know if you can see what I just did. I swoop down right here, being careful not to catch any of those ear flaps. Sometimes I'll go a little bit back here and clean that out a little bit. That's all I do. Get that cleaned up a little bit. Then I take some of this ear powder that I just showed you, this ear powder right here, and I put a little bit in. Let's see if he gets his head back over here. Come here, Banjo. Come here. I just sprinkle a little bit in his ear, and then I sort of rub the ear flap on it a little bit to get it around inside. And then it's okay if you got a lot in there. But see, you see what I'm doing? I just pull a few hairs out at a time, and all this will come out. See, I'm getting a few hairs at a time. Yeah, get a little closer here, buddy, so you can see. So you can pull open his ear like that and see where the hair is. I hope you guys can see. Trying to do it at the same time and try to keep him in the... But I clean out down in here, just a few hairs at a time. And I reach clear down in there as far as my fingers will go, because some of that hair goes clear down there. His doesn't... I've cleaned his ears not that long ago, so he doesn't have a ton in there. But I still want to get down there and reach to make sure that nothing has built up down in there. As it can, the hair sometimes, depending on the dog, it can get so matted that it blocks their whole ear canal, and they can get some pretty sore ears and pretty infected ears if that's allowed to happen. Not all dogs have that much. So look in there and see if you can see any more. A good share of that powder will come out while you're doing this. Just go in as far as you can see. Another reason I don't like to use a tool with this is the chances of me getting my fingers down where they shouldn't be are pretty slim because of the size of my fingers and the ear canal. But a tool, that dog jerks, and you could get them poke them pretty easy. So then what I do, and it's essential that this way I have him set up here in this dog grooming table is very helpful, because when you do certain parts of this, you don't want it to move. So what I do then is I take an ear cleaner, like an antiseptic ear cleaner. I just got this at Tractor Supply. And I pull a cotton ball pretty much in half so it's smaller. And I just put a little bit on the cotton ball. And then I wipe out the ear. And I clean out the ear with that. This is good to do after a bath because as much as you'd like to keep them dry, sometimes it's impossible as much hair as they have on them. So I just wipe out his ear like this until the cotton ball is clean, the ear looks clean. So then there's some little tiny grooves in their ear. I don't know if you can see that in here, but there's a couple little tiny grooves where there's a little bit of dirt. So what I'm going to do, and you have to be very, very careful when you do this part, because you do not want to stick a Q-tip down very far. So I just use it right here to get in these little grooves. Only put it down there as far as you can. And this is why you want to hold them really still. But I sort of clean the dirt out of those little grooves in his ear where the cotton ball won't get. You only go down as far as you can see, and you want to make sure your dog is holding really still. Well, that's all there is to it. And some dogs will have a lot more hair, so it might take you a little longer. And you can't even pull out chunks at a time if they're bad. But that's how I clean the Doodles and Poodles ears. Hope that helped in case you want to do some at home.